Can you all see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evenings to fellows from all over Asia. Should mostly be good evening and afternoon though. So today I'll be presenting on China for the history, culture, and sustainability. I know there's a lot of information, and China is a giant landscape country. So instead of giving you tons of information, I'd like to point out 10 bullet points for each and every category for you to better to memorize, and something might also be relevant to other fellows in the country as well. So the first thing to start it, speak of China history, something everyone would potentially have heard. Related something is China has a really rich history spanning over 5,000 years. There are different dynastic cycles and cultural achievements, and among which Great Wall is somebody was everybody is probably also well known in the world, which is constructed over centuries, symbolizing China's historic struggle and ingenuity, mostly in the domestic defense area. And apart from Great Wall and thousands of dynasties, there are the other thing that I would like to point out for China history. Maybe most of you have not really heard of it, is the Terracotta Army, which is a giant army which was buried with one of the emperor in China's Qin dynasty. The emperor's name is Qin Shi Huang, and this is a lot of the life-size clay soldiers, which was buried together with Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, and basically showcasing he wanted in that time he wanted to showcase his power and authority for also artistic powerness, so that for his burial ceremony, he wanted all of these clay soldiers together to bury with him as well. This is the other thing. And moving on. So the other thing that the third part about China's history, which is very important and significant, is the Silk Road, and which also spans around a lot of different countries, which kind of connects a lot of our homeless countries together in Asia. It's a culture exchange and trade in between China and the West. Also has a great significance in shaping the global commerce and diplomacy. And there are certain, the photo to the right bottom was a photo in the Dunhuang Mogao caves, which is like an ancient cave, which people later found through archaeology, and showcasing some Buddhist art and scriptures that basically shows the diverse cultures along the Silk Road, and some history evidence that something and some ancient commerce and communication has happened a long time ago. And that's some key areas about history. Then, giving time is limited, moving on to people. So the others, this one thing that speaking of people, we should all talk about is how China is home to a lot of different ethnic groups. Ethnic groups basically coming from different origins, history. They have different cultures, as well as they speak different dialects. It's not technically different languages. They have following the same grammar, but they like actually in between different ethnic groups, people can hardly understand each other in their own local languages. So in this situation, it's kind of similar to the India. Different states have their own languages. This is something that I like to point out. And among the 56, actually 55, we call them minority groups, with the Han Chinese being the majority, which constitutes a 92% of the population. And different ethnic groups also have their different festivals. For example, the Yi minority group in the southwestern China actually preserve some ancient traditions like the Torch Festival, where they light up fires using some tree branches and to celebrate unity and the harvest. It's kind of like the Holi in India. And we also have a similar one, like in Spring Festival, it's also celebrating different harvest. So moving on, the fifth point I'd like to point out in Chinese culture is the tea culture. So tea holds very immense cultural significance in China, actually, with there are various rituals and traditions surrounding in the consumption of tea. In the top right, I think a lot of countries have similar villages like this. The top right photo is the Longjing Tea Village in China, in the Hangzhou city. And there are people there basically make a living out of planting tea and selling tea. And the right bottom, the photo showcase how people normally consume tea. We use different small tea cups and mini cups, and usually just use hot water to serve and consume. Moving on to the sixth point. So speaking of Chinese culture, the other thing that we cannot miss is also a lot of different festivals across the country. There are, so the photo, we can just take a look at the photos to the left. The first one actually is the Spring Festival, Chinese New Year. And we all know like this year is Dragon Year. So there are a lot of dragon decorations around the country. The second one is the Dragon Boat Festival. So that's something where we kind of like in memorial of a very famous poet, Xu Yuan. And we features a lot of the dragon boat races and some traditional snacks as well. And the bottom two photos are the Mid-Autumn Festival, which we celebrate the harvest season is in the Mid-Autumn Festival as well, and as well as family reunion. And we will have a lot of lanterns as decorations, as well as mooncakes for snacks to eat. Moving on to the seventh one. So the last 4 bullet points is the most interesting part for the fellows. I believe that's all related to sustainability. Some of the key sustainability initiatives China has taken. The first one I would like to point out is this, China is actually investing heavily in green technology and renewable energy. And the photo to the right showcases a most recent project that China has done is kind of planting a green Great Wall inside China. So that has very significant accomplishment. By the end of 2022, there are 31.74 million hectares tree being planted as afforestation, also kind of like restoration for the forest across the country. So this is the first one. Then the second sustainability initiatives, I think everyone heard of China would first think of pandas. So that's why I include some photos for you to take a look at. So China has put a lot of efforts in panda conservations as well, for its commitment to preserving the biodiversity. That's part of the initiative. The photo to the bottom, there's this white architecture is actually the Chengdu research base of giant panda breeding. And it's kind of like a giant panda zoo, but it's not technically a zoo because pandas are preserved, genetically raised, and there are a lot of preservations happening inside. People actually care for them, especially for the newborn babies. And the money taken from the tourists will be taken into preserving pandas and helping with breedings and every conservations. The second last point about sustainability is China promoting its green building design construction techniques to enhance the green energy efficiency and environmental sustainability. So one example is the Shanghai Tower, which is on the top right photo, the tallest one. This is the short, thin one. It's a lead.
Time is up.
Okay. I'll be really quick. I have one more point.
Okay.
So just the green building, and the bottom photo is its architecture showcasing how the circular floor, inner skin, triangular mechanical floor can actually help with energy efficiency. The very last point, just China investing highly also in eco-friendly transportation and infrastructure, such as electric vehicles in the top left bottom. Recently, there's actually a collaboration, I think, in between China and Pakistan to build an EV manufacturing factory inside Pakistan as well. So that's all the key bullet points. Time is limited, so thank you all, and I welcome all you to China someday.
Thank you very much, Iris. Yeah, what a beautiful presentation. So yeah, thanks for guiding us in the presentation, in letting us know about your country, and very interested to know about sustainability initiatives. And last time I was doing one research in water, and then I got to know about few cities are developed as a floating cities to conserve water. very interesting initiatives are happening in China regarding the sustainability cases. So thank you, Iris. So moving on to the next presentation, we have Mongolia. Who would like to present from Mongolia?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay.
The beginning of the presentation, I will present. Okay, good evening, all. Good evening, Omlos team. This presentation prepared by Mongolian fellows, and I want to start our beautiful Mongolian introduction and say hello, Mongolian language, Sambano. Okay, next, please. Mongolia is an empire with a history of more than 2,000 years. Maybe you guys wrote about Genghis Khan's history from world history. Genghis Khan established Mongolian Empire in 12,006 years, and about 2,000 years ago, Mongolia was independent country now, and we are independent in 1921, and become a member of United Nations as well. Now Mongolia is a border China in south region and Russia in the north region. It is a landlocked country located in East Asia. Our territory is 1.5 thousand square kilometer. It means sixth largest country in Asia, 18th largest country in the world. Population is now 3.5 around million people, and capital city is Ulaanbaatar. Next, please. You can see the our map compare the European region. Our flag, you can see the top of slides, and now we are a nomadic country, but nowadays we are developing as Asian developed country. Okay, next, please. You can see capital of cities, some pictures. Okay, now we have 4 seasons in winter, summer, winter, spring, summer, fall. Our climate temperature is extremely changed. You can see the on the slides. Summer is over than plus 40 degrees, and the winter is highest degrees, almost minus 40. It's extremely. Okay, next, please. Okay, I invite to beautiful lady Inkchen. Please, Inkchen.
As you've seen before, we have a huge land, and we have main 5 natural regions. And our people consists of 19 ethnic groups, which is 90% of our people are Khalkh, which is true descendants of Genghis Khan. In the west, here's the photo of the west, and the ranger, where in winter it reaches minus 40 degrees. Shamans, one of our main religion. Also, one beautiful spot in our country is Hufskull, second biggest freshwater lake in Asia, and it's also called Blue Pearl of Asia. Reindeer nomads. Here's the photo of it. Also, our Gobi, foreigners call it Gobi Desert, and it's a famous of its dinosaur fossils. Some photos of our Gobi, beautiful, really beautiful place. Here you can see the camel. As you can see here, it has 2 humps, which is only inhabited in the southern Mongolia and in China. Gobi. In the 1920s, American traveler Roy Chapman Andrews found here dinosaur fossils, which helped the scientific research, which helped with the dinosaur history. Grassland forest, central Mongolian steppe. And we do have a variety of flowers. Here's the really unique horse, which is the only wild horse left in the world. It's called Tech. Snow leopards, wild goats, and also birds. As you know, our history is quite dramatic and unique. And one interesting fact is that Genghis Khan built the biggest empire that's existed in dry land ever in human history. We do have many animals, in total almost 70 million. Here you can see the exact numbers. Now also camels, beautiful mountains, and horses, all the animals that we pasture. From here, my colleague will continue the PP.
Okay, so thank you, Einstein and Boya. Would you like to turn to the next slide, please? I'd like to more discuss about our gear. Next one.
Okay, wait, it's kind of bugging. Give me a sec.
Okay, thank you. So here goes Mongolian gear, which is housing, has a long tradition, and we do still live in there because it's very flexible for nomads to fold and pack, and it's really ideal to Mongolia's harsh climate condition and lifestyle. So some of foreigners call it yurt. Next one. Okay, so we see our traditional clothes here, but these are more ceremonial ones that we don't usually wear on a daily basis because the casual traditional clothes look much more comfortable than this. Yep. Next one. Yeah, there are kids wearing the traditional clothes, smiling. Okay, so our official language is Mongolian, but we do use Cyrillic script that's from Russia, even though we teach our traditional script in schools. So the picture on the above shows the traditional script. Okay, so we have several festivals here in Mongolia. So first of all, I would like to emphasize Naadam Festival that focuses on 3 traditional games. Next one. Here we can see horse racing, archery, and wrestling. So we organize these games and wear our traditional clothes, eat a traditional food. Yep. The next festival that definitely describes us is Mongolian Lunar New Year. And that's personally, I think that's my favorite one because the preparation of this ceremony starts from almost a month before the actual date.
Time is up. So I will give you 1 more minute. Please finish it in one more.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, that's because this heartwarming celebration that we celebrate. So the next, I would like to mention the SDGs in Mongolia. As you can see here, the SDG 10 and 13 are still requires attention, whereas SDG 4 and 17 are on track. Yeah, and thank you for your attention all.
Thank you. Thank you, Kunsen, Boya, and Enjik, right? Did I pronounce you well? Thank you to all Mongolian. Very nice collaboration. Thanks for the collaboration. So yeah, thank you for taking us in Mongolia. I have been to Mongolia in 2014 and I was amazed looking at the places. Oh my God, it's a beautiful place. I would love to visit again. So yeah, hopefully soon. So who is ready for next? Myanmar. Who is with us from Myanmar today? Myanmar team?
Maybe let's move to the other one, Harsana, so that we save time and give them chance later.
No, just checking if they are making it ready. Okay. So if Myanmar team is not ready now, we will move to another. Doesn't look like. Okay. Let's move to Nepal.
I'll be starting for Nepal. Please have with the presentation. Thank you. So namaskar everyone. Have you ever dreamed of exploring the land of Himalayas? Well, get ready for an adventure because we are about to take you on a journey that you won't forget. Next slide, please. You might already know Nepal as the home of Mount Everest, the birthplace of Gautam Buddha, the only non-rectangular flag, the land of temples, or the home of brave Gorkha warriors. But hold on to your hats because there's so much more to discover. Let's dive into Nepal's rich history. In the medieval period, Nepal was divided into several kingdoms, but that did not stop it from reaching its peak in economy and architecture. Fast forward to the early modern period, when Nepal was unified into a single nation by Prithvi Narayan Saha under a monarchy. Despite the political turmoil, this era marked as the opening of Nepal to tourists, paving the way for the first ever Mount Everest climb. But wait, there is more. The modern era brought about significant changes, including a civil war that transformed Nepal from the Kingdom of Nepal to a federal democratic republic in 2008 Bikram Samvat. I would not miss mentioning that Nepal has always been an independent nation and was never colonized. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about our national symbols, the rhododendron flower, the Damphai bird, and our national sport, volleyball. Our national emblem, Janani Janmabhumishya Swargadapi Gariyasi, it means that mother and motherland are greater than heaven. Next slide. In Nepal, we are proudly home to 29 million people following more than 10 religions. We speak 124 plus languages and we have a literacy rate of 76.2%. Next slide. Along with that, our cultural diversity is also unmatched, with so many ethnic groups having their own language, food, dance, music, and lifestyle. You can see the diversity through this picture collage of us homeless Nepal fellows ourselves. Next slide. Again, cultural diversity is not everything about Nepal because Nepal is also so geographically diverse with altitudes ranging from 67 meters to a breathtaking 8,848 meters above the sea level. You can see that this is Nepal, but this is also Nepal. And so is the next slide. This is also Nepal. And next. But hey, this is also Nepal. Next, please.
So Aaron here. And Nepal is also known as a land of festivals because we have many celebrations throughout the year, from religious festivals like Dasai and Tihar to cultural events like Jatras. We have something to celebrate throughout the year, making it a lively nation. So in this photo, we can see festivals like the last slide. In this photo, we can see festivals like Dasai, Eid, Udauli, Ugoli, symbolizing our cultural harmony. There's Kumari in Newari community, and we call her the only living goddess. We also have something like Asar Rupai, that signifies our agricultural beginnings and celebrated in the month of June. And we also have Bhagwan Naach, which shows our Kathmandu's cultural richness that has been continued from Malla dynasty. Together, they weave a colorful fabric honoring our ancestral heritage. Next slide. From Indra Jatra carrying Ganesha, Bhairava, and Kumari to Sindur Jatra, a festival of colors and sanity, and Machindranath Jatra, a rain calling ritual. Each of these holds a very huge cultural significance. And the interesting part is Machindranath Jatra and coincides with the start of rainfall, which obviously adds fascination. Next slide. So did you know that in Nepal we celebrate dog, cow, and birds? So in the successive days, and as we believe that Mother Nature is our goddess. I'd also like to add something interesting, that we are 67 years ahead than Gregorian calendar, that we are in 2081 right now. Next slide. As I said that in Nepal, we have diverse ethnic groups, right? So that brings diverse food varieties. So here in the picture, we can see Thakali khana set, Newari khana set, Kodo, which is basically millet, Selroti, and Gongi, which is snails. And it shows our rich food heritage. Next slide. So beside that, we also have street food that is influenced and inspired by Indian and Tibetan culture. We can see some tasty momos, laughing, tangy chatpatis, and other mouth-watering foods. I'm damn sure that it would have been hard for all of you to resist. Thank you.
Well, as we embark on this journey to the wonders of Nepal, it's also very essential to pause and reflect on the sustainability issues that confront this beautiful country. While Nepal boasts incredible natural beauty and cultural heritage, it also faces challenges that demand our attention and action. Next slide, please. One such challenge is waste management. The problem of handling waste in Nepal cities and tourist areas is getting worse. In the year 2020, more than 600,000 tons of waste were produced, with 54% of it being organic. Another slide. So having said that, another concern is the preservation of our forest. Even though Nepal has done a great job on restoring forest, reaching 41.6% coverage in the year 2020, the ongoing threat of forest fires is putting this progress at the risk. Next slide. Moreover, in March of this year, Kathmandu Valley, which is the capital city of Nepal, it was ranked as one of the world's most polluted cities with an air quality index of 181. Next slide. Additionally, climate-induced disasters, including glacial lake outburst floods, droughts, and landslides, pose significant threats in Nepal, resulting in substantial losses and damages annually. For example, in 2022 alone, there were 327 landslides, resulting in 99 deaths and adversely impacting almost 1,000 families. Next slide.
Regardless of this, there are a handful of dynamic actions and initiatives designed and implemented in Nepal. Next. Some of the national policy interventions include climate change policy, national policy on disaster risk reduction, solid waste management, etc., and many more. Next. Moving on to a Suahara project, meaning good nutrition in Nepali, it targets for enhancing maternal and child health by offering essential nutrients, education, and support. It has increased consumption of diverse and nutritious foods by women and their families. Next. Also, Community Forest Project, which is one among the largest projects of Nepal, is an initiative involving local people working together to manage and conserve forests. 1/4 of the national forests are managed by community user groups. Next slide. Additionally, an Everest cleanup campaign to preserve and maintain Mount Everest environment integrity by removing wastes, organizing cleanup expeditions, and ensuring proper waste disposal facilities is ongoing in the country. Next slide. At this finest moment,
one more minute.
At this finest moment, I feel proud to share Nepal as the first country to double its tiger population by adopting the TX2, that is Tiger x2 goal. Next slide. 3 hydropower projects of Nepal have received certification of hydropower sustainability standards for ensuring environmentally responsible and economically viable hydropower development. Next slide. Also, Nepal has significantly progressed to the LGBTQ rights, ensuring that everyone has the right to live with dignity. Next slide. Nepal has been one of the leaders in zero carbon emission public vehicles, and now we have set a target of switching to at least 60% public transport to electric by 2030. Next slide. With sustained efforts and a commitment to progress, Nepal is scheduled to transform from least developed to developing nation in 2026. Next slide. With this note, I would like to warmly welcome you all to this land of beauty, rich in culture and traditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Omlas Nepal team for this collaboration and presenting this amazingly. Thank you team. So next we'd like to invite Pakistan. Pakistan ready?
We have a video presentation, and I believe Sarad will share the video.
Okay. Sarad, are you sharing? Okay.
Can you share the screen of video, ma'am?
Sir, we can see the screen.
Pakistan is located in South Asia, surrounded by Iran, Afghanistan, China, and India, with the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman in the south. The country is divided into 4 provinces and 3 territories, including the capital Islamabad that acts as its own territory. Keep in mind, the northern territories are administratively operated under Pakistan's government, but India still claims parts or most of them.
Punjab is a region in Pakistan known for its rich farmland and 5 major rivers. In Punjab, traditional clothing is colorful and unique. Punjab's food is spicy and delicious, showcasing its lively culture and abundant farms. Sports are a big part of life in the Punjab. Music is always in the background, adding to the vibrant culture of Punjab. The sound of the flute and deep beat of the dhol. Welcome to Sindh, a cradle of the Indus Valley civilization. People in Sindh wear unique clothes. Men often wear a shirt called a kurta, along with a colorful cloth called ajrak. The food in Sindh is delicious. Sindh is also a place of amazing skills. In Sindh, you will find stories everywhere you look. It's a special place where culture and creativity come together to make something truly unique. Welcome to the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where brave and hardworking people live. They speak Pashto and Hindko languages here. In KPK, music and dance are really important. People love to listen instruments like rabab, harmonium, and they really enjoy dancing. Women wear colorful dresses with pretty designs. Men wear a kind of shirt and pants called kameez salwar. Food is a big deal in KPK, especially meat dishes like chapli kebabs and kadai. They are really tasty. What's cool about Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is that there are a lot of different cultures. Each part of KPK has its own story to tell. Welcome to Balochistan,
a place with lots of different cultures. People here speak languages like Balochi and Brahmi. Food is very important in Balochistan. They have special dishes like saji, namkeen gosh, and kebab. Balochistan has lots of festivals too. They celebrate Eid and Jashn-e-Baharan with lots of colors and excitement. Balochistan is a place where tradition and modern life come together. Gilgit-Baltistan, a stunning region in Pakistan, is filled with natural beauty and friendly people. The locals are known for their hospitality, treating visitors like family. Men typically wear traditional clothes like shalwar kameez, while women wear colorful attire with beautiful embroidery and jewelry. Festivals are lively events filled with music and dance. And the food, from hearty meals to delicious dessert, there's something for every taste. Sports and games are also popular, from traditional polo to trekking and mountaineering. Pakistan, a land of beauty and diversity, is facing a silent crisis. As temperature rises, glaciers melt, threatening our very existence. This isn't about the environment, it's about security, national and regional. The domino effect of the climate change jeopardizes migrations, food security, and water security. Imagine the implications on our way of life. Being an agricultural, overpopulated, developing nation, Pakistan lacked the resources to shield itself from the onslaught of the climate change. By 2030, carbon dioxide levels are projected to surge by the staggering 300%. We are caught in the race against time with nature. The northern region with their majestic snow-capped peaks are under siege. Glacial, lake outburst flood, GLOFS, ravaged villages, leaving devastation in their wake. The solution? Evacuation plan, perhaps. But the reality is stark. There is no stopping the melting glaciers. It's a global issue with the local consequences. Reports from the German Watch since 1999 ring alarm bells. Pakistan tops the list of the most affected countries. Our GDP hinges on the agriculture, a sector vulnerable to the trifecta of sunlight, water, and fertile soil, each under threat from the climate change. Transportation, a lifeline for our economy, paradoxically contributes to the problem, emitting the staggering 20% of the carbon dioxide emissions. We are in the midst of a crisis, but there is a hope. We can start with something as simple as our diet. Incorporating plant-rich diet can mitigate the environmental toll of our food choices and healthy dietary intake. It is small change with huge impact. Investing in health and education pays the dividend beyond the years. Educated women pave the way for the economic growth, improved agriculture, food security. Research shows that educated women tend to have fewer children, eases the strain on our already overstretched resources. We can't ignore the role of waste, both food and organic. Composting is a simple yet effective way to curb waste, but there is more. Government initiatives like bioreactors can convert the organic waste into gas, reducing our carbon footprints. It's time to act, individually and collectively. Our future depends on it. Let's make sustainability a priority for Pakistan and for the world.
Together we stand. Love you, Omlas. Love you, Pakistan.
Wow, such an amazing video. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Omlas Pakistan team. It's a lot of collaboration and the communication among you. It's a lot of work that you made it happen to show us Pakistan. Thank you very much. Thank you, team. So let's move on to next, Philippines.
Yeah, good evening here in the Philippines. May I ask Sarah to please screen share our presentation? I believe we already sent it prior to this presentation. Yeah, and by the way, am I audible?
Yes, loud and clear, Darwin.
Okay, now let's talk about the Philippines. Actually, it's not prepared by me. We all prepared that. Both me and Noel. Sorry, I haven't changed the name. Let's skip this slide, please, Sarah. Okay, the topic that we are going to discuss or to present now is one, we will take you back to our history, and we will also show to you, to all of you, our culture and traditions, the presidents of the Philippines, the international relations and engagements of the Philippines, and the status of the Philippines in terms of the social development goals. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now we are going to tackle about the history of the Philippines. We call the Philippines a woman because we have three islands, the Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So she represents a woman. So it is her story instead of his story. So we get to know Luz Viminda's story. Okay, prior to the Spaniards' colonization, the Philippines has already an indigenous group. They have their own culture, their language. They have their own sultanates, their leaders. They also have barangays or villages. They also have trade. They are already engaged in trading, such as products in different areas in the Philippines. Now, the moment when the Spanish came to the Philippines, everything has changed from the way we talk, the way we dress, the way, majority of our culture is really influenced by the Spaniards because we have been conquered for 333 years until our great heroes fought for our nation, fought for our independence. And the next slide, please. Yeah. And then after the Spaniards, we were actually colonized by the American. We were promised by the American to give us the freedom that we need away from the Spaniards. But then we were fooled by the Americans. We were fooled. They actually did the same thing with us the way Spaniards did to our forefathers. And then after the American, we were also colonized by the Japanese. Here under the World War II, in this era where the World War II happened, actually, there are a lot of women who were raped because of the Japanese occupation. So here, many reported and documented human rights violation was present here in the Japanese occupation. I'm sorry for my fellow Japanese fellows here in this session. Next slide, please. Yes, and then after, it is also a great thanks to our forefathers and great heroes and leaders that we have attained the independence that we are enjoying now. The Philippines finally gained independence from United States in July 4 and in 1946 and became a republic. So, but despite of being independent and away from the colonizers, their culture, their influence has stayed for the very long time. Even in this present, we are actually highly influenced by our colonizer. I don't know what influenced our colonizer to colonize the Philippines. Next, please. yeah, we have actually the highest number of dialects and ethnicities in the world, being Tagalog being the first or widely spoken in the Philippines, and then followed by the Ilocano, Cebuano, Bisaya, and Sambongueño. Next slide, please. The population of the Philippines is actually at around 118.2 million. This is also composed by 50.8% of male and 49.2% of female, based on the report documented in the year 2024 recently. Next slide, please. Here is our traditions and cultures. Actually, the Spaniards actually brought Christianity, Roman Catholic, in our country. So we were highly influenced by the Spaniards. Therefore, we have the Christian as our predominant religion in the country, and then to be followed by the Islam, and then Protestantism, and then the Iglesia ni Cristo. Yes, next please. Most our culture and tradition is really revolves around our behavior and attitude towards our the people that we meet, the people in the house, our elders, our friends, to our leaders. We actually also have a lot of religious practices and observances, one of which we celebrate every December, the Christmas day, because we are actually predominant Christian. And then we also celebrate Hari Raya for the Muslims in the Philippines. And we value respect for our elders. This is what we retain even up to today, up to the date. And we also love the arts and crafts. We kind of like, have a lot of celebration appertaining to the arts and crafts. And we value also family celebrations. We do social gathering, family gathering, reunion. We do that a lot here in the Philippines. And since the Philippines is predominantly Christian, we celebrate festivals because we have a lot of saints that our fellow Christians believed in. So we kind of like, celebrate a lot of festivals here in the Philippines. And in the Philippines, we also believe in superstitious and superstitious belief. Because we are actually, since we respect our elders, we actually believe on what they are saying, or what they said. So I think that's kind of like, shape the way we think and the way we believe in something on some areas. And then we also believe in hospitality and bayanihan. Because when you go to the Philippines, most of the Filipinos and Filipinas are very friendly. They are hospitable, and then they respect everyone's religions or culture. Yes, and next.
Time
Yes,
is up.
next of the religion. Yes,
Darwin,
yes.
1 more minute.
Actually, we have Noel to present this SDG status, so it's okay. I'll cut my presentation. Here are our presidents. We start with our first presidents, Emilio Aguinaldo, down to our current Pinoy Marcos Jr. We have two ladies who led actually the Philippines in their time. Next, we have Noel. To share with us. Yes.
Just to keep this short, I was basically tasked to discuss the status of sustainable development goals in the Philippines. So basically, there are a lot of efforts from the public and private sectors, but we are still bounded by challenges in terms of economic growth and political landscape. And the Philippines actively engages in diplomatic efforts to tackle regional and global challenges while promoting peace, stability, and its national interest. Again, this is Philippine team. Thank you so much for listening.
So this is the last slide, Noel?
Not really.
How many slides you have?
10 left. 10 slides left. So
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
we'll give you one more minute. Can you please go quickly?
okay, maybe we can focus on next slide. Next slide, please. So the Philippines faces significant environmental challenges, including deforestation, biodiversity loss, pollution, and vulnerability to natural disasters such as typhoons and earthquakes. So efforts to promote environmental sustainability includes conservation initiatives, reforestation programs, and policies to address pollution and climate change. So our government also collaborates with international organizations and implements community-based projects to enhance resilience and protect the country's natural resources for future generations. In addition to this, the Philippines, through its youth and other stakeholders, actively participates in local and international climate change forums and agreements, advocating for global and regional action to mitigate, for example, greenhouse gas emissions and support vulnerable countries. So through a combination of local initiatives and international collaboration, the Philippines is working towards building a more resilient and sustainable future for all, especially for children. And okay, so next slide. And to address these remaining challenges, the Philippines continues to invest in education and healthcare infrastructure, improving the quality of education through curriculum reforms and teacher training, and enhance social protection programs targeting vulnerable populations such as the poor, elderly, and marginalized communities. So we aim to build a more inclusive society where all citizens, especially women, children, elderly, people with disability, and indigenous communities mentioned by Darwin can access essential services and opportunities for a better quality. And yes, sustainable urbanization where there are collaborative efforts between government, urban planners, communities, and other stakeholders to ensure that urban development is environmentally sustainable, socially inclusive, and economically viable. And I have mentioned already the partnerships and international cooperation. That's all from the Philippine team. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig, or thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Noe, Darwin, and all your collaboration with all OMLA's Philippines team. Thank you for taking us in the Philippines. So we haven't planned in this way, but now I am looking at the countries. We started from like a mountain here, mountain or Himalaya, and then now we are coming towards the island, towards the south. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And yes, every country, all the people, different culture, tradition. It's very interesting to know. Even in Asia, we have so much diversity. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to know each other's country, people, culture. So yeah, thank you for presenting. We have another from Sri Lanka.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashra Vikramatilaka. I will be presenting on behalf of all the Sri Lankan fellows in OMLAS. So in our presentation, we have two segments. First, there will be a video, and then we will be move on to a quick sustainability issue talk. So at the beginning of this video, I would like to highlight three things. There will be a word called patta. Patta in Sinhala is the native language called epic super. And the second one is this video will be more different than the rest of the videos you've seen because we wanted to show you guys the cake without the icing. And I want to highlight that nothing is black and white. Everything is shades of ash. Thank you. Sarat, can you start the presentation?
If history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, then Sri Lanka's history is an epic poem.
Patta history started by asking a simple question. In a country whose history is so old, so Patta, and so painful, what does it mean to be Sri Lankan? Does it mean feeling your heart swell at the rippling lion flag encased in its majestic stripes? Does it mean you support the Sri Lankan cricket team? Should I feel proud of a country that has long stood for free healthcare and education for its citizens? What about ancient kings who harnessed an engineering prowess so masterful that they diverted seasonal rains to man-made reservoirs as large as oceans, connected by gently gradated canals nearly 100 kilometers long? But on the other hand, should I feel deep shame of the primitive politics that have split waters along religious and racial lines and rarely seeks to find a common interest? Of a 30-year conflict which killed 100,000 of our own country people and left more missing? But is it as simple as that? Aren't we all of these things at once? Aren't we the good and the bad? Both our best features and our worst scars? Can we be Asian and Western, both rich and poor, liberated and colonized, feudal and democratic? Can we be Abba, Watalappan, Pongal, Malay pickle, Lamprey, or a Kotu of them all? In a tiny island of 21 million, where blood and treasure has been spilled over land, language, religion, and race, what more could we be if we weren't just the sum of our stereotypes? What could we be if we peered behind the curtain of our identity and asked not just what happened, but why? It is these kinds of questions that brought us to the idea of Patta history. Would politics mean anything if we knew that red, blue, and green had at one time or another been allied or opposed? What if we knew the sequence of fragile events or decisions that changed our country forever? Or the unexpected fearlessness of our citizens in the face of oppression? Patta history is convinced that we can only really know ourselves when we know what brought us here. But there is more. Sri Lanka's history is epic. Yes, it's stories of battles and wars, clever strategists, great brains and visionaries. But it's the stories of courageous and resilient people, and we believe that these stories deserve a much wider audience. So here we are for you, whether you're curious or confused. And we promise that we will continue on this journey to tell meaningful stories that will bring us closer to answering that age-old question. What does it mean to be Sri Lankan?
When you can go from sun-kissed to mountain mist in just 4 hours, that's so Sri Lanka. When dolphins and whales swim around you all year so you can visit them at any time, that's so Sri Lanka.
When a bicycle ride in the countryside is one long roadside party of board games, quirky friends, and the world's best cup of tea, that is so Sri Lanka.
When every sunset is an aphrodisiac and the nights command you to dance them away, that's so Sri Lanka. When you can marvel at elephants in the morning and then meet exotic birds, bears, and leopards for lunch, that's so Sri Lanka. When you can get an eye full of paradise, a heart full of adrenaline in a single opportunity,
that's so Sri Lanka.
When people brave dizzying heights to taste a buzz of fresh, warm toddy, that's so Sri Lanka.
When feasting together makes you family, so we take every opportunity to indulge, that's so Sri Lanka.
When time slows down and urges you to as well, so you can soak up the full magic of cultural treasures at every turn. Storied street food made with love for 3 millennia, 360 degrees of ocean,
365 days of good.
Hugging lush forests, misty meadows, secret waterfalls, and ordinary Wednesdays. That is so Sri Lanka. When you surrender to every minute, becoming your new favorite memory on Earth's favorite island.
So wild, so pristine,
so scenic, so thrilling, so spiritual,
so bold,
so colorful. That's so Sri Lanka.
Okay. I will quickly highlight the sustainability talk. Even though Sri Lanka is quite, have a good rank in the sustainability index, we have like 83. I think we also face the similar issues like our fellow countries too. For example, we have that climate change vulnerability, rapid urbanization, agricultural expansion, and illegal logging contribute to deforestation. Some regions of Sri Lanka experience water scarcity, and also we are still struggling with the pollution and waste management. So one of the huge drawback in our country is we don't think long term when we are doing urban development projects. We have huge ports. There are no ships or anything. We have huge airports. There are no aircrafts. They are like massive infrastructure projects that went our dollars and went our money into. However, even though Sri Lanka is amidst of its worst economic crisis right now, we are doing conservation of natural habitats and smooth transitioning into green energy, like small initiatives. However, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. Being an island, we are polluting our sea a lot, which is not acceptable because Sri Lanka is a biodiversity hotspot. So we have to take care of our coral system because our island will be protected by this crown that protect our country. So, however, even though our people are going through a lot right now, we always will welcome you all with a warm smile. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Asra, for taking us to Sri Lanka, beautiful country, Sri Lanka. So yes, thank you very much. So moving on to next country, we have Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste, ready?
Yes, ma'am. Ready.
Okay. Floor is yours, please. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please go ahead.
So, first of all, good morning, good afternoon from my fellows. So we're here focusing on Timor-Leste. So I will represent my fellow Timorese to share about my country, Timor-Leste. So next slide, ma'am. Okay. Our history first. In here, Timor-Leste became the Portuguese territory in the 16th centuries, where the first colonizations in Southeast Asia, after Spain and Holland in Indonesian Philippines. It's our time that the Portuguese colonized us for 450 years. So, yeah. In that, the colonizations start beginning 16th centuries. So the Portuguese established a significant presence in our island through tradings back in the 19th centuries. So we affecting with them as well. So we using their culture, their language as well with their names, because we being as one part of them back in the day. So as I already mentioned, it's the colonizations last for over 400 years. For it's shaping our language, our religions, which is Roman Catholic, and the cultural practice that Timorese people use, like respecting and their cultures as well, having their language used in our activity, daily life activities. We have our Proclamation of 5, which is proclaim our independence for Timor-Leste. But after that, in December 7, 1975, the Indonesians invade our country, which is collaborated with some of Timorese political party to take over Timor-Leste back in the day. So for 24 years, Timor-Leste have been facing a lot of challenges, and then of course the United Nations help us to gain our independence, which is in the May 20, 2002. So up until now, we're still collaborate with Indonesia. We became a good partner with our neighboring Indonesians, and now they're supporting us to become part of ASEAN community. So next stage, ma'am. So this is our president of Timor-Leste, the current president of Timor-Leste, which is Dr. Jose Ramos Horta. So he was born on March 26, 1945 in Dili. So he is one of the main part of our getting our independence from Indonesia. As we can see there, it's been written there that Ramos Horta is a Nobel Prize laureate with one of our priests that promoting peace for Timor-Leste, work in 1996, where he shared the fear and the tears of Timor-Leste to the United Nations. And then after that, we gained our independence because of one of our role model, which is Dr. Jose Ramos Horta. So this is the second term as a president in Timor 2012, and now starting from 2022 up until 2025. So this is the geography of Timor-Leste.
Rosario,
So
maybe you
Timor-Leste,
can turn off your camera so that you can be audible properly, Rosario. Okay, thank you.
yes, ma'am. So this is the geopolitics of Timor-Leste. So Timor-Leste is shared border between Indonesia and Australia. As many of OMLA's fellows doesn't know Timor-Leste's location, so this is the pictures that show the location of the Timor-Leste. The red dot there, that's Timor-Leste. We've been calling so many names like Timor, it's Timor-Leste, East Timor and Timor-Leste. Our names have been translated into a lot of languages. So Timor-Leste have 97 kilometers wide with total area of 14,874 square kilometers. So that is our countries, the wide of the countries. So in here, Timor-Leste have over 1.35 million populations. This is the census that was given in 2020. And then we have 13 municipalities with over 64 sub-municipalities, which is conclude with 77 dialect. So our official language is Tetuan and Portuguese because the Portuguese have colonized us for around 40 plus years. That's why we keep on using that one. As well, we're using English and Indonesian as well as our language of communications. And next page. So this is our identity. So there's 4 pictures there. Starting with the number 1 is ties. This is our traditional textile that our ancestor is using to represent cultural identity, social class, respect, and ties between the families. Because ties have their own characteristic and own value as well. Timor-Leste used to have king and queens. Those who have really good ties, they are the one that represent the king and queen in part of the municipalities. Okay, in the second one is the cultural attire. The picture with the male and the female. Let me just assure you that the male is one of my brother because I want to share them their faces. So ties is traditional textile in Timor-Leste. It's all been added to cultural importance is UNESCO list, which is in 2021. And as well, our cultural dance. It is a really significant part.
Rosario. Disconnected?
Anybody else from Timor, Harsana?
Anyone? Andre, Antonio? Who is there from Timor-Leste? Serenia?
I really have empathy for them about this internet.
Yes,
Guys,
I can go.
Entity,
Yeah,
okay.
entity. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh, okay, continue.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, please continue, Rosario.
Yeah, I'm having problems because it's still blank.
Oh, you cannot see the.
I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, it's back on track. So cultural dance is already, ma'am. Already. So our cultural performance is cultural dance is really part of our daily life. Where some occasions we use our traditional dance to accept those who came from other countries. It's like traditional already. We dance and then we cheer. We cheer with the rest of the people that came from the other countries. So, and there, the last picture was traditional house, which is really famous and being part of our identity. This is part of Los Palos, one of my place that I was born of. So, traditional house or rumah lulik is sacred house. It's a ritual house that we using it for our daily cultural activities. So we keep on using it. So it's have all their own meanings, but we
Anterior? Rosario again disconnected. Anterior, can you please come? Anyone from Timor-Leste?
Can we just, Sarat, can you just show the slides? It looks so beautiful, the other one. Maybe you can get.
Arsana ma'am is presenting this slide.
Oh, okay.
I'm back online, ma'am. I'm
Oh,
really sorry
okay.
with the internet. It's really frustrating.
Okay,
It's
please.
okay, Rosario. We are
If
with
it's
you,
not,
Rosario. No worries.
we just go to.
Very good. So now again. Harshana, maybe we just have it, stop it here now, and then later on, if otherwise it's a.
Just see the pictures.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there is
so
a video.
yeah.
Can you hear the sound?
Oh, dance.
Can you hear the sound?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Wow.
Hello, I'm Antero Pinto Pereira. I am one of the Timor-Leste fellow participants in OMLAS. About me, I'm as a young leader in my country who is involved in various activities of volunteer work. In addition, I'm also as an environmental activist who work with the other young individuals from different backgrounds to fight for environmental issues at the community level. Alongside my volunteer work, I'm also as a university student studying on the agriculture sector. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Serenia Maria Leia from Timor-Leste.
Hello, everyone. I am Miranda. I'm honored to represent Timor-Leste Fellows in OMLAS programs. I'm a master student in Peace and Conflict Studies at UNPL. Currently, I work as a research and public relations assistant at Minister of Education. I'm excited to engage with fellow participants and to contribute to our collective goals. Thank you.
His voice is not there. He's Andre. Some issue, technical issue.
I think then, Sarsana, we should forward it. No point of listening.
Yeah,
This.
no, just finish. It's finished. Just
Okay.
oh, I think there was one.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Timor Fellows.
Okay, so who next? So thank you everyone, Timor-Leste Fellows. Sorry about the internet connection, but we managed to see the video. So yeah, internet is very difficult in Timor-Leste as I am living in Timor-Leste, so I'm also facing the same issue. So I know the situation. So okay, so next we have from Vanuatu. I did not see anyone from Vanuatu. No, we do not have. Is Sylvie online? No, I do not see her. So we can move to Vietnam. Who is representing Vietnam?
I thought we sent you the video.
Okay, Sarat.
Phu Hằng, Nhật Linh, Vui Nga. Hello, this is Vietnam team. We are a team of 6. Ông Dương, Phu Hằng, Nhật Linh, Vui Nga, Xuân Hanh, and Thủy Phương. The full name of our nation is the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, a peninsula with about 332,000 kilometers square, a house of 64 tribes, accounting for over 98 million of population. And outside is our traditional costumes. The map of Vietnam is similar to the shape of letter S. Northern Vietnam often 4 seasons, especially sometimes there are a little snow on the top of the mountain. Central Vietnam enjoys coastal climate, while southern Vietnam are only 2 kinds of weather, rainy season and dry season. Thanks to varied climate zones, eating habits with specialties differ in regions.
Pho, the internationally known flagship Vietnamese dish. It's iconic, easy to eat, and a great anytime of the day meal. Outside of Vietnam, most Vietnamese restaurants are pho restaurants. But does that mean Vietnam has gone from being known for the war to being known for its pho? When a rich, multifaceted cuisine is reduced to one dish, the depth and character of Vietnamese culture to outsiders is one-dimensional too. No doubt, Anthony Bourdain knew pho was old hat. The expert in the culinary arts and a lover of Vietnamese food, President Obama to eat bún chả and not pho. Ask your Vietnamese friends what their favorite food, and you're bound to find a long list of dishes you've never heard of. So the ubiquity of pho down to the fact that Vietnamese overseas restaurants don't dare stray too far from Vietnam's most recognizable dishes. Vietnamese cuisine needs to break from the status quo. Vietnam is a dynamic place with cuisine from 3 major regions, each with its own distinct personality, character, and pizzazz. A northern cuisine known for its salty, savory flavors with fish, tofu, wrapped meats, sticky rice, and buns. A southern cuisine with an assortment of soups, noodles, and rice dishes, all with a sweet touch to them. And a central area with its spicy nature, dipped with an imperial array of rolls, molded rice pastries, tangy shrimp flavors, and rice noodles.
Archaeology has Vietnam been one of the very first nations in Asia, even before China, Korea, and Japan, and India. There's no doubt that we are so rich in culture, but within 8 minutes, may we suggest some unique must-see destinations in Vietnam?
Let's start with northern Vietnam. Hanoi is the capital of Vietnam, located in the center of the north, also known as the City for Peace, titled by UNESCO since 1999. There are over 100 big and small lakes in Hanoi. Hanoi, old quarter with a long history of more than 4,000 years, is also the area of diverse architectural styles, especially some French villas having been maintained up to now. From Hanoi, there are several choices of attractions. For example, Ha Long Bay, UNESCO World Heritage. Tây Bắc shared the border with Laos, or Sapa, so called as a town in crowds. Top 16 beautiful small towns in the world. Moving further to the north, the traveler may cross the border between China and Vietnam.
Now we turn to the center of Vietnam. Da Nang is the chief city in the middle of Vietnam with the highest number of bridges nationwide. Apart from Mỹ Khê, top 10 most beautiful beaches, Golden Hand Bridge too, in the top 10 most beautiful bridges, perfect for a gentleman proposing to a lady. Not so far from Da Nang is Hoi An, marking a love story between Japan and Vietnam. In the 17th century, the Vietnamese king typically built Hoi An for Japanese traders to stay during the time they did commercial with the Vietnamese. From Hoi An, traveling to the south, we reached Phú Yên, which used to be a volcanic land millions and millions years ago, creating the sea cliff of Stone Place, a famous place also, taking wedding photos. What makes Central Vietnam particular is it is the only part of the country having both highlands and dunes. If Tay Nguyên Highland contains tens and tens of waterfalls, then dunes are popular of terrain racing and surfing games on sands.
Last but not least, we now come to southern Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City is not only the biggest center of economy, but also possesses the highest quantity of skyscraper in Vietnam, especially Landmark 81, the second highest in Asia. Additionally, water birds as well as other entertainment forms on rivers are merely available in this city. Ho Chi Minh is also popular for its nightlife, being rated 5-star by foreigners. Close to Ho Chi Minh City are western provinces, being well known for floating market. And if we keep going to the south, we will visit Mekong Delta, contributing the highest rate of the agriculture field.
2024 belongs to an era of peace. Let us get a grip of Vietnam history. In 2023, the Swiss luxury watch Christopher Clarett presented Hai Ba Chung in their collection to honor the sister leading the whole nation to gain independence after 1,000 years under the Chinese domination. The Vietnamese National Day is September the 2nd, as we won the victory over the Japanese forces in 1945. In the same year, the French returned to Vietnam the second time, as the first time they invaded Vietnam was in 1858. This year, we celebrate the 7th year anniversary of Dien Bien Phu, which forced the French to sign the Geneva Accords and surrender unconditionally in Vietnam. The U.S. stepped into Vietnam in 1948, and after 25 years, they totally lost, even after leaving Vietnam with about 15 million tons of bombs. You are more than welcome to Vietnam, a nation with power of resurrection. Vietnam wants to be friends with the world.
Okay, thank you, Vietnam team. Such a beautiful country and beautiful collaboration, making such a creative way. The presentation is so creative that we feel like you are speaking at the corner right there live. It's so nice to see all of your creativity from this presentation as well. So yeah, thank you very much. We have next Bhutan. Is Bhutan ready?
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
So, if Sharat can share the slides. Hello everyone. I would like to apologize, my fellow Bhutanese Changchup, he won't be able to join us for this session since he got ill halfway during this session. So I will be presenting on behalf of Team Bhutan.
Georgie, are you there? Not Georgie. Chiring? Yeah.
Chiring?
You can also turn off your camera, Chiring, if you have problem. Hasana, do we have anyone else?
No,
Then?
he just mentioned that Jansuk has gone. Chiring, are you there? She's online.
What about Vanuatu? Is Sylvia here?
So
Oh,
Sylvia.
hello.
Oh, okay.
I would like to apologize for the internet connection.
Chiring, you can turn off your camera.
Camera.
So, I think friend Jang Chub have presented halfway during the last session, so I will just make a quick run from the first half of the presentation. So, we are Bhutanese. We are also known as the GNH country, or also the last Shangri-La on earth. Our Bhutan's history starts from the arrival of a Tibetan saint known as Shabdrung Namgyal. He unified Bhutan under one nation, from where we had to see many civil wars and wars from Mongolia, Tibetan, and also from British India. But however, the last civil war in Bhutan ended with the coronation of our very first king, Ugyen Wangchuck. Can you change the slides? So this is the Tibetan Lama who unified Bhutan under one nation. And if you see on the very last picture, a man with a crown, he is our first king, also known as Sir Ugyen Wangchuck, as he was given the title Sir by British. Next slide. So he is the very first king of Bhutan. From him, the Wangchuck dynasty, the present line of king started. Right now, we have our fifth king, Jimmy Khesar Namgyal Wangchuck. Next slide. Bhutan is also proud of our gross national happiness, which is the brainchild of His Majesty the Phodru Gyalpo. So if you ask any outsider about, do you know Bhutan, then they will first say the GNH country. Due to this and with the contribution of His Majesty the Phodru Gyalpo, we were able to go for a peaceful journey towards democracy, where he gave his power to the people. And Bhutan, right now, we are a constitutional monarchy country. Next slide. And next slide. So food, like any other Asian countries, Bhutanese are fond of spices. So our favorite, like our national food is emadachi, which consists of chili and cheese. Next slide. So doma, which is also called as pan in other Asian countries, is Bhutan's favorite snack, which in the past used to be a symbol of rich, like it was only limited to the air tickets, but in the present moment, it's a symbol of gift. And if you give Doma to a Bhutanese, then they will be your friend forever. I can guarantee you that. Next slide. So some of the festival we have selected for this presentation are firstly Techus. So Techus are celebrated in monasteries and zongs. Zongs are fortresses which in the past used to be a watchtower, but currently it is used as administrative office and also a place where we showcase our festivals and celebrate festivals there. So if you come to Bhutan during a Techu season, you might think someone is getting married because we will be dressed to our finest. So if you see in the picture, you will be able to see the sacred marks dances. And also the lady standing there is Bhutan's famous actress, and she is wearing her Techu attire. Next slide. So like other Asian countries, we celebrate Lunar New Year, also called as Losar. Lo means year and Sar means new. So during that time, like any other Asian countries, we gather with our families, go to temples and pray for a new, prosperous and healthy new year ahead. Other festival is Blessed Rainy Day. It is also called as Tribab. Tri means water, Bab means falling. So it is celebrated to mark the end of Bhutan's monsoon season, which mainly falls around mid-September or end of September. So we will be collecting rainwater or water in tubs with flowers like shown in the picture. And we will take baths or cleanse ourselves the next day with the belief that it will purify our sins. Next. So the Gompukoro festival, it is celebrated in the easternmost part of Bhutan. During this time, this festival, we get to meet people from Arunachal Pradesh who have been coming to this festival from ages. During this time, we will get to connect with people from Arunachal Pradesh and also seek spiritual reverence. Next. So the Royal Highland Festival, from the name itself, you will be able to guess. It is a festival to celebrate the Highlanders or the nomadic people. If you see in the picture, this festival is celebrated at a location which is 4,000 meters above sea level. So last year during this festival, people were able to witness the first ever snowfall in the country during last year. And during this festival, we get to try out like yak riding, horse riding, and also all of the nomadic highland products. Next. The Black Nacren Festival. It is a festival celebrated in the name of the endangered Black Nacren, which migrates from China, Tibet to Bhutan during the winter. This place, the festival is celebrated at Phopchika, which is a must-visit place in Bhutan. If you come to Bhutan, this is a must-visit. I would highly recommend you to come here. And this festival shows the harmonious connection between the environment and the community people. Next. So the Jomolari Festival and Trek is a festival which is celebrated after a 2 days hike at Mount Jomolhari, and it is also celebrated in the name of the inclusive snow leopard. As you can see, there are many stuffed snow leopards made there. If you are a nature lover, this festival is a must for you. The next festival is the Mushroom Festival. It is to showcase the mushroom, aromatic mushroom, Matsutake mushroom, which were harvested by the local farmers every season. Next. Now the sustainable issues and initiatives. Next. So like other my fellow friends have shared, Bhutan also faces the waste management issues. We have also the issue of conservation of national resources and biodiversity. Also the sustainable use of water resources, because Bhutan highly depend on our hydro project. So balancing between the energy generation and protection of water resources has been a challenge for Bhutan. And also, though Bhutan being a carbon neutral country, we also face climate change challenges. Next. So the sustainable initiatives, Bhutan have many youth-led organizations such as YPA Bhutan, Golo Golo Bhutan, Harmonious Youth Volunteers, which give awarenesses, and also the youths are allowed to participate in decision makings for the youths. Next. The other initiative is that Bhutan have protected areas and biodiversity conservation. So Bhutan is home to the tallest unclimbed mountain in the world, which is Gangkhor Phuntsung. And Bhutan have about 10 protected areas. And in 2022, we even passed a biodiversity bill to protect our biodiversity. In the picture, there are few animals which reside or dwell in the protected areas of Bhutan, including the golden langur. Next. So in this map shows the 10 protected areas in Bhutan. So if you see, most part of Bhutan are under protected areas. The other initiative is the zero waste policy. So it is to minimize waste generation, promote recycling and composition, and also to encourage sustainable consumption and production practices. If you see in the picture, it was led by our Queen Jutsin Pema Wangchuk. She also participated in numerous cleaning campaigns to give awareness on this zero waste policy.
During how many slides remaining?
Only two
Okay.
now. So I guess a few of you might have heard about Gyalpo Mindfulness City. It was announced only last year during our National Day. It is a upcoming city which emphasizes on sustainable urban development, community well-being, and also environmental stewardship, so which will foster mindfulness practices and also holistic urban planning for a sustainable future. Now the very last slide. Renewable energy. So Bhutan's renewable energy sector mostly depends on hydropower, but with the advancing in the recent years, we have been expanding our initiatives into solar and wind energy. And also in recent years, with the help of JICA and UNDP, Bhutan have been shifting from fuel vehicles to electric vehicles, this aligning with its commitment to reducing carbon emission. So with this, I want to say thank you. And in Bhutan, we will say Dashi Dile. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, Tasidelek, Chiring, if I pronounce correctly. Thank you for taking us in Bhutan. It's a beautiful country, beautiful place. I think Bhutan has the highest protected area in the world. Most of its land is protected.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me say hello in Burmese. This is Myanmar, and today we are going to introduce our countries to you all.
Can you click the present there at the top right corner? top right corner, can you please click the present?
Oh, yeah.
And then you can just click there. Yeah. No, not share, just present.
Yes, that one.
It's not moving. It's not moving.
Anyway, no worries. Just go ahead.
Okay, no problem. Just click the next slide that you want to present.
Myanmar, which is formerly known as Burma, is the second largest country in Southeast Asia, and it is bordered by India, China, and Thailand. And Myanmar is characterized by its diverse geography, including mountain, plains, and coastal region. And Myanmar is a resourceful country, which is JMJ, oil, natural gases, and other mineral resources. If you really don't mind, can I share the link, please? My eyes not working.
You can just.
Okay, I can share the screen.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, really sorry for inconvenience. Yeah, I hope, yeah, it would be okay. Okay. Yeah, let me share the screen.
It's just don't worry, okay? Slow. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yes. Okay. I think. Okay, please stay here. Okay. 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 I think you all can see the screen. So is it okay? Oh.
Yeah, I can see the screen right now. Can you move the slide to the ethnic diversity?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Next slide, please.
Okay.
And it is officially recognized that Myanmar have more than 135 ethnic groups, but mainly there are 8 ethnic groups, and each of it has its own language, culture, and tradition. And among them, Burmese is the majority of the Burma ethnic have the largest population, and more than 80% of population are Burmese, and Burmese language is the official language of Myanmar. Next slide, please. Religion landscape. Buddhism is the dominant religion, and approximately 90% of population in Myanmar practice Buddhism. And in here, we follow and practice Theravada Buddhism, and other religious practice include Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and traditional animist belief. Next slide, please. Traditional festival in Myanmar, we have like every festival in each month of the year, and the most famous one is Tinja Water Festival, and we also celebrate our New Year on that mat. And Tinja Festival is symbolized cleansing and renewal, because we believe that water can cleanse our mind and soul or spiritual level, and it can also cleanse our bad karma and sin through water. So Tinja Festival means a lot to our Burmese people. So why don't we have a look at how we celebrate Tinja Festival in Myanmar? Another one is our traditional dress. For traditional dress, we wear longi, and longi is a traditional garment worn by both men and women. Lastly, tanaka. Tanaka is a piece made from ground bark and worn mostly by women and children, but men also wear tanaka. Tanaka is like our Burmese sun cream, as it's a cooling effect. It's really great for this scorching hot weather. Next slide, please.
By the way, can you hear my voice?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so as for me, I'm EK, right? I'm from Myanmar. You can call me K. Yeah, I'm so sorry for I can't open the camera because if I open the camera, my connection is unstable. Okay, today I gonna present about our traditional art. You know, this is called puppetry. Puppetry is we call jyoti. It is a Burmese puppetry like back to the 15th century. It is play with a string. It is only for entertainment. We play with a string. And then when we are not in the 18th century, it is a very important entertainment for the Burmese tradition. And then the puppet show are used not only for entertainment, but also to communicate cultural story and moral lesson. You already know this is even a political story. Okay, could you please next slide? Yeah, and then moringa. Moringa is our traditional fruit. You know, moringa is like a noodle soup. Yeah, and we put noodles with a soup. It is called moringa. It is a traditional. If we put a spicy, you can also eat like a spicy food. But if you don't like a spicy, you can remove it. It is our traditional food. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, and also tea. You know, cause tea means it's not so sweet. We just only ingredient is just lapat. We call lapat. Yeah, it's just only leaf. I know it's just only leaf. You know, but in a hot water we put lapat, so we can drink. We can call tea, and also we have a traditional like a tea shop. It is very important in Myanmar. You know, we always, when I was a childhood, I always drink tea with our families. That is our traditional like this. This is very precious time for us. Okay, could you please go next slide? Yeah, like this. And then lapat, we not only use a tea, but also we use like you already see in the poem. It is called a lapat. It is this means we are unity. We are unity of all traditional, all ethnics. Okay, thank you. I will next one we present.
Oh, yes. Now I will present about the current issues of our country related to the projects that we have been mentioning. So what we say about Myanmar, we cannot leave the political issues because Myanmar has turned into a democratic state since 2010, but it was under military coup again since 2021. So when we have to say about our country, although we are arguing about sustainable projects, the current issues of Myanmar is the brain drain that youth are starting to flee the country because of the mandatory military service by the military dictatorial government. That's why, and also the military coup has begun because of the issues that they claim for the election fraud in 2020, although it has not stayed proved yet. So although these kinds of things are still happening and also has been happening since 1960, when Myanmar has turned into authoritarian regime and also over like a 10-year short period of democratic regime from 2010 to 2020. there were lots of projects related to sustainability of our countries. The first project that is existing in our country is Tan Myanmar, which focuses on turning plastics into a upcycling and also recycling. Its impact is really large. It does not only affect on the cities, but also affect on the country sides to manage the waste materials in all over the country. And also the next one is WCS Myanmar. This is for the wildlife care, and also it is they conducting some projects to have sustainable wildlife in our country. And the next one is Do-Aid. Do-Aid is famous for turning this, as you can see in the first photo, and also the change of second photo, the waste management, and also by collaborating with the art. So although our country is struggling among in the dictatorial regimes, but there are still lots of projects which focuses on sustainability of our wildlife and also sustainability of our environments and culture. So this is the brief introduction of our country. Although there were lots of inconvenience such as technology problem, I hope you can stay taste about our cultures and also our country's brief histories and also projects. Yeah, thank you all for being here today and also paying attention to our introduction.
So thank you so much, Myanmar team. We really empathize with you, the situation there and all the things that you are doing. So yeah, from last year also, with all those, difficult moments, our fellows did wonderful. So I really have empathy to all the fellows from Myanmar. Thank you so much. Yeah, and thank you all the fellows here. Like, we are already, I think, half an hour ahead of our time. So this is okay for today because this is a special session for all our countries, fellows countries. Thank you all. And we will upload the video as well as the resources that we have received. If you have not sent the PDF of your files of your presentation today, please do so, so that we can upload everything, because few of the fellows are interested to know. Maybe keep a copy of that, right? Sometimes we want to have to write something about Timor or something about Pakistan, and then we can just refer to that PDF. I think that would be helpful. Thank you so much. So, okay, let's just take a beautiful picture of us today, and let's say goodbye for this wonderful weekend ahead.
Just hold on 1 minute because there was something with our OMLAS account. I don't know how the other format, the PDF not work well. Only for the video, the record of the class will be all right. But when I open some PDF, I cannot open it at all.
Is it for everybody or only Jill? I can open it properly from my end. What about Zuhi, Srivani, Iris, Mira?
Yes, we can open it easily.
It does open.
There's no problem.
Yesterday I did.
You can open it.
Yeah, so once more, maybe log in again, Jill, and try another time, okay? Because we don't have any problem opening the PDF file. And if you have still issue, get back to us, get back to Sarat through email, okay, Jill? Okay, thank you. All right, guys, let's smile and let's be happy and celebrate Asia. See how wonderful Asia is. I'm so happy to be Asian citizen, and I'm really looking forward one day we can go to all the Asian countries through our work or anyway. Okay, so thank you so much. Let's smile and celebrate this moment. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.